Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial, and I'm going to show you how you make terrain in Unity and then you transfer it to Houdini and tweak it, and then how you get it back. So as you see on the screen, we're just going to make something simple like this and make sure we get an FBX ref mesh. So this is a FBX file, reference file we're going to use, and throughout the tutorial I will show you how to think about it. And it's also some things to think about, like PNG files and raw files, and so you know how to get it back. So yeah, let's get started. So of course we're going to start in an empty scene, and I have a Houdini opened, and I'm going to save it to my scene file, so I have all the files saved very conveniently. So now I have my Houdini file saved here. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make terrain, and I have the terrain over here. So you find it in the packet manager if you don't yet have it. So I'm going to make a total terrain width to 200 and length 200, and height we're going to do 200. And we're gonna have the height resolution to 1025 and create. And here we have the base. So if we click on the terrain and then just do this brush, we can add some dots here just to have something to work with. So I'm going to do the same thing in this one. I'm going to make a kind of a river in here. So yeah, so let's say we have this mesh and we made this, well, it's not mesh, this terrain height field, and now we want to make river in here, but then you can't really lower the terrain because it's from 0 to 1, right? So you can't have negative. At least I don't know how to do it, and but for the purpose of the tutorial, we're going to just show how to tweak it in Houdini. So when you have made your terrain like this, then you just go to terrain utilities and you do export heightmap and export folder path. So you just put it, I'm going to put it to the folder that's in here, so it's going to pop up here, and the name of the file when you press export heightmaps is going to be this name here. So I'm going to do terrain from Unity, or actually I'm going to do heightfield. Heightfield. So we press export, and here we have it. And I actually have chosen PNG. You have Targa and raw, but unfortunately you can't open raw in Houdini. So if I press this PNG file, we should open it in Photoshop so you can see how it looks. So this is what we have, and you can actually, if you do check the properties here, adjustment, if we do a curve, you can see, no, I'm going to leave it, but you see it's not very white here, and that's because it kind of represent, if we do a box, a cube, and if I do this cube to and let's say 100. So you see here, we made in the terrain toolbox, we made a 200, 200, and the box is representing that. Actually, I think you can have the gizmos on. Yeah, of course, you don't need a cube like I did. So you can just press the gizmos here and you see your bounding box. So you have 200, 200, 200, and why it's so not so strong here is because it represents the height from 0 to 1. So it's just low grade because it's very low here. And if it would be completely white in the PNG file, it would be up here. Anywho, let's continue to Houdini. So inside Houdini, we're going to make a geometry node. And inside here, we're going to use a heightfield file. So this file, if we pick the file that we just made, so it says hip here, so it's going to look in the folder where the hip file is. And here is the height field from Unity. So we're going to take it, and here we have it. So now you might wonder, why isn't it showing anything? Well, the thing is, the size is 200. Because that's what we made in Unity. So you need to make sure you do the same size. And our height scale, we did 200 in the height scale. So now you see we have the same stuff going on in here. So this is a height field. So now we have it in Houdini. So if we do convert height field, now we have this in mesh. And here you can control the density. This is going to be our reference mesh. So if we just do transform and compensate with the Unity and Houdini difference with 100 units. And then we just do ROP FBX output file or node. Then we just do mesh from Houdini raw. So it's like we haven't done anything with it. So if we save this to disk, and then we have the mesh here and we put it in, and then you can see this file is not actually correct. It's actually, we need to rotate it. And in here, now we know that when we import the height field here, we know that this one is not correctly rotated. So we always want to work in a pipeline where everything is the correct scale and rotation. So what we need to do, we need to do a transform node, and in the rotate, we're going to do -90. And then we just do save to disk. And here you have it. So now we know we have, you see the circle here and here. We have the same circle here and here. So now we know that everything in the pipeline is correct. So we know that, yeah, we know we have good reference. So I'm going to move these parts and to the side. And now we're going to do the next part. And the next part is I'm just going to do like this. So this is going to be our raw mesh. So we have that part. And now we're going to do it here, but we're going to tweak it a little bit. So here we want to add a river. And the reason in the terrain we can't really lower below 0, so we need to add some height on this height map. So the first thing we will do, and it's going to be a really easy way to do this, we're just going to we're going to make a new height field here. And we know it's going to be 200 by 200. And also, I forgot, but this is also important. Here, height field, we're going to use not center, but corner. So that's how Unity sample height maps. And you can do center too, or corner, and corner is the Unity way. So I'm just going to save it one more time, so we know the reference file is correct. Oh, sorry, we need to export. Yeah, but I did, didn't I? Okay. It's small details, you might not really notice it, but Houdini recommend you to use corner for Unity, so we will do that. Okay, see here we have the height field, and this we're going to have corner, and we're going to use this and do initial height and just add a little bit 10. So this is the amount we want to raise this part with. So if we do height field layer, I think it's this one. Yeah. So if we just put it here and we have this one here, now we can combine them. So layer mode, we don't want to replace, we want to add, and we're only going to do it on height. And we're going to be height like this. So now you see what we did. We kind of added everything up. And also maybe you just want to add it like maximums. You just add it like this. So you can kind of decide for yourself how you want to have it. But I'm going to do add for it. So now we have this. Super nice. And here, now we're going to do mask, a height field mask. So with this height field draw mask, if you have it, activate it and press enter in here. Now you can draw like this. So now we have a really nice height map. And with this one, if we just do a height mask blur or height field blur, now you see you can, oh, not height field, mask blur, height field mask or mask blur, I don't know, mask or mask. Now you see it's blurred here and you can control it yourself here. And then we just make a new height field layer and put it here. And yeah, we're going to only work on height, so we're going to put that one there. And so this is the mask, right? So now we need to combine this with another level. So if we do a height field basic, actually we can just take this one as a copy and put it in here. So now, because we have replace this one, we can now decide with height here how to have it. So yeah, it's not so important, just to show how it works. So we're going to do 0 on this one. So now we have added this part. So that's really nice. And also just make we're going to do a height field layer again. And this part we're only going to add some on these mountains, we're going to add some extra noise because it looks a little bit ugly. So the way we do it, we just do a height field noise and we add it in here. And we have this, we need this one too, height field. But we're going to make sure, yeah, that's nice. And we want it to be 0. So this is nice. And in the noise, we do less noise. And Yeah, we can try wireless cellular. And then here we do not replace, but add. Actually, I'm going to do a height field blur here, because I want these mountains to be a little bit more smoother before I start working on them. So now when we add these ones, they are not that ugly. So if we do, instead of add, we can do multiply. No, maybe add is the best thing. So let's say we like this, and let's do it a little bit less strong. So this is what we want, but we only want it on the mountains, right? On these parts. So we just do, again, we just do this height field draw mask. We plug it into this one here, and then we just paint where we want it. We want it here. Also, we want it here. Sweet. And you see the noise going down here. And what I want to do, I want to do height field noise. I don't want to do center. I'm going to do not center noise. Then we kind of add it like this. And then we're just going to blur these here. We're going to do height field mask blur and put it in the mask. So we want to, this mask, we want to blur, because here it's too sharp, and if we blur it, we have nicer transition. So the last part, we're just going to make this erode, height field erode. And plug it in here. Why isn't it working? I'm resetting the simulation. So here we have it. So I'm just going to do like a little bit, and I'm actually going to do a height field blur. So not the mask blur, but a height field blur. And I'm just going to do like radius 1 to just have a little bit, and we do it in here. So now, if you do save this one as edited, and now in Unity, if we add an edited one in, you see we have a nice new mesh. And the resolution is not that good because it's just a reference. And of course we can do it so much better. But I'm going to put it here. Actually, I'm going to put it here. So we're going to do negative 100. And now we're going to export the height map, so we get this nice thing, right? So let's see. We can also do a little bit more resolution on this one. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, we have the reference mesh here, and now what we want to do, we want to export the height field. So then we just do a height field output, and you have the opportunity to export PNG. You can't export raw files, so we need to choose something else. So what we're going to do, in the HIP folder, we're going to do height field from Houdini, and it's going to be a PNG file. It says here too, but I'm going to do PNG. It's easier to see. So I'm going to do accept, and it's going to be a single channel. It's going to be a 16-bit fixed. And we're going to use the height field in the red. And we're going to do a manual remapping. So what you want to do, you can do different ways. So if you see here, if I middle mouse click on the node here, you see size, and you have 57. So we want to add this 57 here. So you can just add 57 and you're done. But you can do it a little bit more procedurally. And the way I'm going to do it is to do, I'm going to have a Wrangler. And I'm going to change it to be details. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a float and make it an attribute on the node. Call it size. And it's going to be get bbox size. And 0 is for the first input node here. And then I'm just going to do .i because I want the I direction. So now you can see size here we have 57. So what's really convenient here is you just do detail, and first you want to add 0 because you want to read the first input, and then you just do size. And then you need to do 0 because you want to read the first position in the attribute. And the first position is, it's only 1. But if you had an array or something, or vector, you need to put 1 if you wanted the next one, right? But we just want it like this. So it didn't work. It's supposed to. And I missed the comma here, like that. Now it works. So you need a 0, text, comma, and the attribute position 0. So now we have this here, and I'm just going to copy this one. And now we save to disk. And now in here, we just in the terrain toolbox, we're going to do import heightfield. And we're not going to use a raw file now because I want to show you what's happened if you use PNG. So heightfield from Houdini, PNG, put it in here. And the terrain height, as we just mentioned, is 57 and 57. And we do create. So now you see it's here. But you see it doesn't really do the lowering part. And it looks a little bit weird here because it's not a raw file. So this is what's happened if you do the PNG way. So I'm just going to move this part here. So this is the PNG part. So we need to do the raw file solution. So in Houdini, you instead need to do, well, actually, we're going to convert the PNG file to a raw file. So here, if you have the height field from Houdini PNG, and if we open it up and just to file, save as copy, save a copy, you need to, okay, so you have save as or save a copy. So you need to do this because you want to access the possibility to save it as a raw file. And it's going to be in the same folder. And when you do that, and of course, PC for me because I'm on PC, and Mac if you're on Mac. And then if you, in the import Heightmap, use a raw file, and you select the raw file that you imported, so you find it where it is. And then if you do create now, you see now you have it. You have it as you expected, almost. Because there is one thing, it's actually not a copy. It's we need to flip it. And this is strange because it works here, but it doesn't work here. So it's something inside this terrain tool that should be different, according to me. So what we want to do, we just want to go into here. And so this is works for PNG, but if you want to do for raw, you need to flip output, and in the output you need to flip vertically. So if I do this instead, we do PNG raw, so we know what the name is. If I save this now, and we have this flipped. Now, when we have this PNG raw and double click that PNG file, and we do save a copy, and we do the raw and save and PC. And now instead, if we remove this and we do it one more time, but we're going to choose the new raw file. This one. And if we create, bam, here you have it. So if we put it over here, you see it's matching perfectly. So this is how you do it. So what we've done now, we have we've taken a terrain height map into Houdini and made some transformation. Then we saved it back with some new information. So this is how you would could work with height fields with Unity and Houdini. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you liked it.